Yeah, I promised another time that I'd disclose my business idea because the crowdfunding thing is a kind of, it would go over to that because out of respect of consciousness values, I would, all of the whole business thing is about that. So I said I'd make a video about the designs I've got, and because as you've seen from the 8 laws, that's how different from conventional wisdom the 8 laws discovery is. That's how different from conventional wisdom the design philosophy I have is as well, right? And so we've got firmly, I call the main product the primary product, and it's a wheelchair, right? And I'm calling it the quadruped. And what that does, it's got this unique system in it that it can read the ground, okay, and it reads the ground without electronics, okay. Or you could put it another way, I've created a mechanical computer that talks to itself, right? Okay, and so you've got this means on the ground and it knows what's going on, and so anytime it starts going up an incline, it will automatically keep the seat level. You go up the incline and then you go down the incline, and the seat will follow what the thing's been telling it, right? And because of this, the thinking in it, okay, the seat also stands up and you can actually face any way you want. You can, so you can drive down the supermarket aisle and face the shelves as you're standing up, right? And so, and there's provisions in it to control it hands-free, okay? So you've got this wheelchair that can go anywhere a person can walk, can go up and down stairs, over rough terrain, down a riverbed, wherever you want, right? I mean, it's electric, so you can literally drive it through a river if you want, because it's electric, right? And the seat can stand up, and you can actually face sideways while you're driving along. So mainly, I think people won't use it as a wheelchair. They'll spend most of their time in it driving around standing up. So you can go, you can face sideways, so you can just drive it right up next to a bench in a standing position. So a lot of people will be able to go back to work if they have this device, right? And so anyway, there's 6 variants of it, because the unique technology I've invented for it, it facilitates, it's a pretty cool thing. And I'll just say the wheelchair thing, it won't need to go through any national testing regime for safety purposes, right? Like in the US, the safety testing thing is $50,000 an hour, right? So they extract their dollars out of it really seriously, man. And so I'm going to escape that. I'm going to get around that by, the fact is it's more like a motorcycle than a wheelchair, because of the dynamices that exist when you control it. It's nothing like a fucking wheelchair, man. It is nothing like a wheelchair at all. And so I'll probably get around that. And so yeah, and it's a mobile power source, right? And you can tow stuff with it because it's powered, right? And I think you could retrofit it with all sorts of technologies, man. Anyway, I'll tell you these other ones, the 6 variants, right? The first variant is, there's going to be a child's version, right? A child's version. And it breaks it down that actually the adult version and child version also could be seen as the indoor and outdoor version, because people in an office environment, they don't need a big beefy, they don't need the full strength version. They need a minimalist version, right? And so, and a lot of the office environment places, it's reasonably easy to get access into it, and there's elevators and things, and so there's so there'll be a minimalized thing, and that will also be the child's version. Okay, so there's your 2 first ones, and then this really fantastic application of it is now this is not only the base of the wheelchair. This is on top of the wheelchair. So you've got your base of your wheelchair that can go up and down stairs and handle steps and all that shit. Now the top of it has actually got this these two curved plates, okay, and what they do is, this is for moving rest home residents, okay, elderly rest home residents. So you can go underneath the rest home, the older person, right, and you can pick them up and move them around, and you can take them around, you can, you know, everywhere they need to go, they can go on this device. And they can also be a very minimalist one, because they're often very light. They're only 50 kilos, 50 or 60 kilos, and so that will be a variation on the child's version. Third variant is a flat deck version with a flat table on it. That's like probably 1500 millimeters by probably 550 millimeters wide, and that's for your transportation of stuff. It could be hilly terrain, it could be inside a ship. This is with remote control, of course. You jump on it and ride it around, you know, no problem, eh? You can go in all sorts of places with like up and down building stairways, carrying things, people, tools. You know, now there might be, there could be two of them too, because, you know, some people may not want too heavy have a heavy load to carry. But I think being inside, being able to transport people around inside ships would be quite handy if you needed to, or get tools and equipment around ships. That would be pretty cool. And buildings, you know, who knows? It could be, you know, the landscaper might use one to transport plants around a big site, you know, to you know, because you can't drive a vehicle on it, you know. Okay, fourth variant is actually a bigger version of the flat deck one, right? That's probably 4 meters, well, 3.5 meters by about 2 meters. So literally you could actually park a four-wheel drive on it, a 4x4 on it, and actually drive it up a serious mountain, right? And something like that would have the right teeth on the wheels, you know, to get up, you know, to get traction. So you could drive way up a mountain, man. You could, seriously, you could drive way up a mountain, and I think there'd be a great cause to actually park a caravan on it, and you could go park your caravan way up in the hills, man, and have it level. Remember, you're on this great hillside mountain thing, and you could have it level. You could have a level place, well, way up in the hills, man, and I think that would be quite valuable. And so that's the fourth variant. The fifth variant is a fireman's unit, right? For it'll be the wheelchair, it'll be the adult wheelchair, but it'll have a fully enclosed canopy over it, right, with air. You know, you've got your air supply out and land, and also have arms. You can manipulate things, so you could go through doorways, and you know, there'd be different implements attached to it, you know, and you could go through doorways and open and close doors, and you've got 100% protection from flames or smoke or anything like that. Even if the building lands on you, it's still all right because it's quite strong. And so that's definitely a variant. And the sixth one is one that actually is that fireman's one, but you know what? I would drive that bugger underwater, man. So there's going to be submarine versions of these things, right? Submarine versions, and you can drive them underwater, and you know, effectively you could actually use it to work underwater, and and so that's what the plan there is. Your 6 variants, and there may be other ones come to mind, you know. Okay, numbers, well, design 7 and 8. right? Design 7 and 8. Okay. Now you saw the 8 laws there, the discovery right. So my thinking is quite different from conventional wisdom, and so basically I've cracked 2 different autonomous power supplies for exoskeletons. Okay, 2 autonomous power supplies for exoskeletons, right? And this is all really new, mind-blowing technology, man. Yeah, so no, this is where it's going, man. I tell you what. Now it's not a case of it's an exoskeleton, because it will actually be a suit, and it's an industrial tool. It is an industrial tool, and I can so see, because one of them is about, it's going to be 3.5–4 meters tall, and the other one, design 8, that's going to be like 3 stories tall. That's going to be really big, man. And it's going to be used, I can just imagine it, you know, they demolish buildings all the time, right? And so what this will do, you'll be able to demolish a building without making any dust, okay? Because you won't have to demolish it with explosives and whatever. You'll be able to just recycle sections of it, right? You'll be able to just cut a piece out of the building that fits on a truck, okay? And then you'll just get multiples of them and then load them on the truck, and away you go. And actually you'll be able to reuse them. You know, you'll be able to reuse them in some other way. You'll be able to actually recycle all of the stuff out of the building, like carpets, electrical systems, air conditioning systems, windows, water systems. You'll be able to remove them all from the building in a practically undamaged state, except for the size of that's, you know, necessitated by transporting the stuff away. You'll be able to remove all of the stuff out of the building without damaging it, right? Like windows, removing all that carpet, you know, just thousands, you know, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of carpet in an average building. That's probably, a lot of it's still pretty good nick, okay? To just recycle all of that out of the building. So you're taking all these systems out, right? And you're dealing with it. You'll be able to manage it. And so you'll be able to just, you know, you're recycling all these systems out, and then you're disposing of it onto trucks, and they take it away. So it's all nicely sorted out, and then you have to cut the building apart, and so there's infrastructure for that, and so, as I say, it's sections to suit the size of the transport away from site. And so that's design 8, 7 and 8. Because all I saw, right, you know, after these earthquakes, you know, they damaged these houses. They just demolished the house, you know, and, you know, it cost over $20,000 to put a roof on a house. $20,000 fucking dollars, and they're turning it into rubbish when it could easily be reused, man. Really, that's just. And windows are not cheap, and so to be able to remove that stuff from the house really easily, that's the purpose. And so these 2 designs are very serious industrial tools, really serious industrial tools. And how they're powered is, they've got these jet engines on them, right? They're driven by jet engines, right? And you've got a jet engine here on the arm, and another one here on this arm. So you've got full range of movement with your arms, right? Right? And so you could actually fly these things, right? Okay, because it's got, you're counterweighted by your body weight, and it's driven from the top here. And so you could use your arms and very easily fly this thing around, you know, and it'd be very instinctive how to control it, because it's just, it's just copying, you know, your own, you know, as you jump across a stream or whatever you do, you know, you're speeding up and you're slowing down, how your body balance works with that. Well, it's going to be the same thing. And So you'll be able to fly these things around and to go to different buildings. And it's like the big tsunami over Asia there. It completely destroyed the place. But if this apparatus existed and you could just fly over there, you're going to clean their streets out with literally at only about a few hours. You know, in the entire city, you could clear the streets of all debris by picking it up. You know, you're talking about a handful of stuff, which equals about a big dump truck's worth of stuff, because the thing's huge, right? So anyway, the small one, the 4 metre version, that would probably retail at about 10 million, and the big one, that would be probably 100 million retail, right? Now there's beyond that, there's I've got some very strong instincts about a single stage orbiter vehicle, because I think the bigger growth industry in space is actually cleaning up all the rubbish they've left up there, man. There's 500,000 odd bits of space junk floating around the Earth now, because they're just non-cognitive about keeping the place clean, eh? And so I think a space rubbish truck or a space ute, right? Space ute, right? And I think I've got a good idea. Actually, I've got this idea. Here it is, man. It's a crazy idea, but I think I'd like to get 2 747 jumbo jets, right, and re-engineer them with both sets of wings, okay, as one aircraft, right? Okay, so you've got two planes worth of engines on one airframe, right? And it'll be augmented with rockets and stuff, jet engines, because way up in the atmosphere there's hardly any air, so they won't work up there, right? So for that last bit, you've got to have rockets, man. And see, they're already rated for pressure. Okay, they already can handle pressure. There might have to be some augmentation of that, but they've already got a lot of systems that are quite handy. And so to go up there and pick up the rubbish, man, that's what I reckon is a good idea. And yeah, so that's one of the designs. And so yeah, there's all sorts of things I want to do. There's a lot of little things I want to do. There's a publishing company I want to start, because I've got some really cool ideas for 3 movies. And one of them is I tell you, one of them is an animated movie of the Book of Revelations out of the Bible. That'd be pretty freaky. Another one is a space movie about spaceships in peacetime and in wartime. There is no dialogue in it. It's only music, only different kinds of music to suit what's going on. And you've got the whole range, the culture, you've got the creation, you know, the manufacturing of this kind of stuff. You know, it's a science fiction movie, so, you know, and then you've got flying them around and the lifestyle of being in space, and then you've got the war thing, the military thing, where everyone seems to gravitate to because they think anxiety is wisdom. So you've got their whole conflict thing, and it's all represented by music, different musics, you know. I think that would be pretty cool. And so yeah, publishing company comes into it as well. And so that's well, you know, the other thing is the design department, right? There'll be 2 sides of it. There's the manufacturing side of it, and then there'll be the publishing side of it. The design, you know, the research and development hub, because that's where all the CAD design will happen. That's where the prototyping will happen. And that's where my little garage will happen, where all my freaky car and all those, you know, hobby type activities can take place. And it will be that I will provide at cost CNC machining services to private people. Okay, not for business, but for private people. I'll, like all the car heads and all that, and to help them with their art. Okay, because being a car head is effectively being an artist. It is, you know, you're using this format, this canvas of the vehicle of a car to create an artwork. It's a performance art, and I think providing CNC machining services and cutting services, laser cutting and that, at cost, that's what I would do. I would do it at cost. And because that's what we're supposed to be doing for everyone, you know, just... Anyway, so that's my business plan. So that's what I'm aiming at, man. So it all costs money, and while you're an artist, you generally got no money, and so yeah, these next few years are going to be very telling, because I've got my trike, which you may have seen. That's going to get finished, right? That's going to get finished. Hopefully it'll be majorly finished by this year, because that's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. And so I'll either put it this way: I hope to have either everything except the engine system done, because the engine system is actually a lot easier than the bodywork and all that, and the lights and all that, and the look of it, you know. So that's what I'll be looking at quite hard in the next few months, because it's already August, eh? I mean, so time's flying all the time, eh? So there you go. That's the business plan, and anyone can come along and get involved with that. That'd be handy. So yeah, peace to everyone, man, and let's go for consciousness, man. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. So that's the business plan, right?